guys, here we are at Ed Iskenderian'S 102nd birthday, and I just saw Yvonne Curtin. 11 o'clock, we missed the Nitro startup. I got here just a few minutes late. Hey guys, happy birthday!
Seen there are actually designing a new expanded area.
And the man coming up.
Kenny, thank you, Yvonne.
Getting it. Our guest of honor at 102 years and 5 days, ladies and gentlemen, Ed Iskenderian.
Yeah.
You guys want to hear a few words from Ed? All right. I'm going to try to balance this because I got to talk really loud for Ed to hear and hold the mic so I don't blow up the PA while we're doing that, okay? First thing I would like to do is call up the current president of SEMA. Is Mike around it? Mike Spagnola. And if you guys, if you're a hot rodder, you know what SEMA is. It has changed the industry. It has made things safer. It has saved lives. It has helped hot rodding stay alive with restrictive legislation. What they do is just so amazingly important. Mike is, well, Mike, if you step up here, Mike and Ed actually represent the bookends, and I'm going to have him briefly tell you what the history is. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Spagnola.
Hey, thank you, everybody. I got to tell you what a thrill it is to be here today with the Camfather himself, Ed Iskenderian. You know, God puts people in our lives for a reason, and He put Ed in our lives to do amazing things, Ed, and we are just so grateful for you. You know, I got to tell you, the history, I'll do it really quick here, but 1963, a bunch of owners of businesses got together because Revell Toys wanted to license the decals on all their toy models, and Ed and a bunch of guys got together and said we better form something so that we can do this legally, and so there's a lot of history and there's some folklore, Ed, about what really happened. But a bunch of you guys got together in 1963. You were able to get an attorney together and started this group together. But the story, the legend is that when they got together for this meeting, Ed wasn't there, so they voted him in as president. So, Ed, I don't know if that's really true. Maybe you can confirm that today. But I kind of feel like everybody was in line and everybody stepped up and stepped back, and Ed was the only guy standing. So, but it was because, Ed, of your notoriety and because of your brand and because of your name. And because of all of that, that they thought you should be the very first president of SEMA. And we are celebrating 60 years this week of SEMA because of Ed Iskenderian. Yeah. So, I mean, just a few things. He was the founding and charter member company of SEMA. He was elected as the association's first president, serving in 63 and 64. You were a founding exhibitor of the SEMA show in 1967. And in 1978, you were elected to the Hall of Fame of SEMA. I mean, just an amazing, amazing time. So, but I wanted to, and then you wanted to have distributors at some of your shows, and from there, the SEMA show was founded. And it was because of your name and your recognition that they put it together. So, Ed, I don't think anybody, when you guys set that up in 1963, would recognize that today it's a $51 billion industry. That the SEMA show is one of the top 3 shows in all of America. That there'd be over 1 million SEMA members. From the few of you that started this, today we have over 1 million SEMA members, 8,000 companies worldwide. The cars that were built because of SEMA, in the movies, in the TV, and other medium, is unbelievable. That racing would be as big as it is today because of you guys. That there would be millions of customized cars on the road. I mean, just look around here today. That there would be thousands of car shows every weekend, and I could go on and on and on, but it's because you and were one of the founding members of SEMA and the very first president, and I'm honored to know you, and I'm excited that you're here today as we all celebrate your 102nd birthday. So, Ed, from all of us at SEMA, I hope that I can only fill a toe in your shoes. So thank you.
Okay.
And we're going to do it. I was going to be quiet, but you guys are taking still photos. Why would that matter, right? Kind of rusty at this, to be honest with you. We're going to do an award for Ed in a second. I'm hoping, again, it's kind of a balance with Ed's hearing and not overpowering the PAs. So Ed, can you hear me okay?
I hear
okay.
you good.
So what Mike was talking about, he's the current SEMA president. You were the first SEMA president. When you look out at this crowd, this amount of cars, the industry, when you started SEMA back then, if you were dreaming, and you've always been a dreamer, you've always thought huge, did you see it coming to what it is today?
No, it was a complete surprise. I remember I belonged to the Bug Holders Club. Luckily there were two members of the Bug Holders Club in my neighborhood in 1933 when I was 12 years old and had no driver's license or anything. And I saw these little, what we call gow jobs, get up and go became gow. And I'd go over there and hang out with those guys, and they would teach me about cars and gow jobs, kind of make-believe race cars, make-believe cars. So I said, what could be more fun than this, riding around in a Model T or a Model A and lowered to the ground and hopped up a little bit. And we thought that was small potatoes, but we never thought it would grow big. But look what happened. Later after the war, drag racing came in and went into drag racing, and all of it came from all the old guys that taught us new guys how, as we came into the sport, the old guys would help us. And they were friendly too. And they still are. And so now it's, now it's a rich man's sport, but it was a poor man's sport in the beginning. So now it's a rich man's sport though. Well, there's all different facets. You could move all the way is rich man's sport, but there's places in between for little guys. Okay.
In a second, we're going to have some fellas come up to give you an award. I'm sure Ed doesn't have many awards in his 102 years on this planet, but I know you get asked about your history, cars, racing, the camshaft industry, the merchandising, all the different things that you've done to change the hot rodding scene. I'd like to ask you maybe for a little bit of philosophy here. As a guy that just turned 102, and I'm getting a kick out of, first of all, Rick's 81, and when I asked him how old he was, he says, I'm almost 82. Like 15-year-old girls round their age up. You're 81, Rick. But Rick's got a hand on Ed's belt loop, so you got an 81-year-old holding up Ed right now. But Ed, what I would love is you to share a little bit of wisdom on the things that you've learned about yourself and people in life in 102 years.
Yeah, you took me by surprise. I must have some ideas. Gosh, I don't know what to say. Oh, I know Spagnola, he was wonderful. You know, he was a mechanic working at SEMA, and he worked on my car. He put a new starter on it for me. And he was a hands-on guy.
He said you still haven't paid him for that, Ed.
Huh? He's a hands-on president. He's not afraid to work on the guard. Well, anyway, let me see. Let me see if you can talk a little bit.
How about this? How about Ed? We're going to do your award right now, and that'll give you a little time to ruminate on that. I'd like to call up to the stage right now. Where's Doug?
Right there.
Oh, wait. Plan change D.
I'd like to congratulate him.
How about, let me turn it over to David Merrick, one of the...
I don't want to say that, I just want to congratulate him on his hat.
That was at your company?
Yes. Lou, take a picture of us.
Do you know, David, you could have bought that time slot and I would have said something nice about it. But, all right, you get your free plug in there.
I thought I'd do somebody similar.
There we go.
All right, we're paying off some sponsors apparently here, folks. I'd like to call up Doug Stokes. Doug used to run the Irwindale drag strip, and he has done so much. A lifetime hot rodder, and he's going to tell you a little bit about the award that he and where is Dean? Dean Case, and Dean is with the Society of Automotive Engineers, and I'm hoping the two of them will give a little background on this award, and then they're going to make a special presentation to Ed. So Doug, take it away, sir.
It's going to be very short. These people are dying out here, and I am too. Listen, many years ago we did some reunion stuff, and we started an award in the name of a very well-known racing engineer, Peter Bryant. It's gone on from there. We're very, very pleased, first of all, that SAE SoCal is going to take over and keep the award going, and secondly, that it's going to be on display here at the museum, and thirdly, Ed's name's going to go on it, and that right on the next tier.
So, first time in 3 years.
Yeah, it's the first time. We've lost it for COVID, like a lot of other things, but it's it's also to encourage, as Rick's doing, encourage young people, give them some understanding about what racing engineers do, and we're really pleased with it.
A few words from Dean Case.
Thank you. SAE SoCal is really honored to take on the tradition of, I'll let Dave hold the trophy. Peter Bryant was actually a board member for SAE SoCal. And so I think Ed's the perfect person to be the award recipient this year, because he bridges that the area between motorsports and traditional engineering, if you will. Well respected on all accounts. So there's names on there: Trevor Harris, Dan Gurney, some lesser known names. Not everyone necessarily knows Phil Remington. This group probably does, but a lot of really great people on there. It's recognizing excellence in engineering and motorsports, and SAE SoCal is proud to take on this tradition. We're already working with the museum here on the education front. How many of you realize that there's student design competitions called Formula SAE and Baja SAE? We have 17 universities in Southern California building race cars. And so we want them to be engaged with the museum here to get the K through 12 kids more enthused. So it's not, we don't have to merge with the AARP. We can get some younger people involved in this. But we're honored to be involved here with the museum and SEMA, and honor Ed. There's a great video on the SAE SoCal YouTube channel. When Ed was only 98 years old, we had an SAE meeting where Matt Stone did a fireside chat with Ed. And that's at the SEMA garage, so a lot of this, our worlds are coming together for mutual benefit. So thank you for this opportunity.
Another award for Ed. What do you guys think the over-under is on the number of plaques at his house? And if you've seen Ed's cars, there's not much room to call stuff. Don, maybe we can glue that to the roof of his current one.
Do you still need him?
Yeah, we're going to cut Ed loose in just a second. Have you thought about any words of wisdom you'd like to impart to the crowd?
Yeah, well, I realize now when we were kids and we found out this new sport of hopping up Model T's and Model A cars, which you could buy for $5 or $10. They say Ford put the world on the United States on wheels. He was right with those Model T's. But we could buy them as cheap as $5 or $10 sometimes, with 4 flat tires, and push them home. And the older guys in the in the bung holders tub would help us get it running. They would get it, that Model T motor started up. And we learned from these older fellas. And the first thing you know, World War II comes along, and then after that, the sport grew because of Hot Rod magazine, spreading the word around. And now, I was actually in demand to help the new guys. What they had taught me, I can help the new guys that are coming into the sport. And I even brought myself in the cams after visiting Ed Woodfield, the master of the cam bringing business, and he helped me quite a bit, and I was amazed to and you can actually make a living in this sport. It can actually make you a living if you want to make certain parts that people need, and so it's not wasted. Oh, I got to tell you how they got the name Bungholders Club. Bud Hines was our president, and he saw that we were working in his tire yard where he keeps all his tire, and he'd see we looked like a bunch of loafers fooling around with cars and not working. And you guys are a bunch of a-holes. And we were thinking of calling it the A-hole Club. And Hartford Bridges said, no, you can't use that name. Let me think of a name. And he thought of a Bungholders Club, a barrel with a bunghole in it, and it's on the side, and that'll be the emblem. And it went over pretty good. Everybody else, the other clubs were road runners and gear grinders and many others. And of course, you know, we used to run up at for top speed. We raced up there on Muroc Dry Lake, 20 miles of flat lake when it was dry, and we could cars would. There were different clubs like the 90-mile-an-hour club and many different names, road runners and so forth, and our Bungholders Club. Did I ever tell you about? We go to there's another dry lake called Hartford's Dry Lake in Orange County, and by golly, we'd go up there on camp on Friday nights and Saturday nights, and we found at the side of the lake was a spring where we could take a bath, and we called that Bunghole City. And we also called it the Pony Express Station. We made believe it was the Pony Express Station, and that's where we'd camp overnight. And then race.
Hey, we're going to let Ed get some shape. Ed, I want to say on behalf of, and I know I'm speaking on behalf of everybody here.
One more award.
We love you, but we also like you. We respect the heck out of you. I just love that I wanted a philosophy speech on 102 years, and we heard bungholer and a-hole 3 times in there. So apparently that's what it takes. One more award, and this is going to be to you and Carl. Okay, we're going to have Carlos because Tammy apparently decided she's shy right now. Her father took it. These were not in my notes. I just want you guys to know I'm completely winging it here. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer Carl Olson.
Yeah. Thank you. The Lions Automobilia Foundation and Museum, which is more than a museum, the Board of Directors decided that in honor of this event and this particular individual, that we would do something we've never done before, and that is to appoint an honorary member of the Lions Automobilia Foundation and Museum to Ed Iskenderian.
And we made Ed promise to save a few stories for his 103rd birthday, so hopefully we'll see you guys right back here next year. Ed, thank you so much. We're going to go into Car Show Awards right now, but how about one more round of applause at 102 years old. If you drove here today, give him a 10-minute head start. If you get out of here before him, go really fast, okay?
Tammy.
Amazing. Okay, you guys.
Tammy.
Ed's 102nd birthday.
Tammy, let's do a photo with you with Ed.
More Soul Radio.